Others present: Peggy Collins, City Treasurer; Kathy Poor, City Collector; Joe Dimmitt, Superintendent of Utilities; Officer David Fagan, Police Department; Lori Moots-Clare, Knox County Health Department Administrator; Echo Menges, Edina Sentinel Editor; Stanley Menges. Mary Enoch called the meeting to order and gave the invocation. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Minutes of the January 8th, 2018 and January 10th, 2018 meetings were read and approved. Collectors and treasurers' reports were given. Peggy Collins, City Treasurer, met with the board and said she had no additional information to add to the report. No action was taken on the monthly bills at this time. Citizen comments. Echo reported that the Chamber of Commerce would be sponsoring a trivia tournament at the Knox County Community Center on Saturday, March 10th. This is an annual fundraiser for the Chamber. Lori Moots-Clare, Administrator of the Knox County Health Department, met with the board. She requested a picnic license for a wine tasting event at the Knox County Community Center on Saturday, March 3rd. She said all the proceeds will benefit the local Knox County Cancer Organization. Greg Gonerman, owner of Laramida Cellars at Chiricahua Ranch Vineyards in the Wilcox, Arizona wine region, will be donating the wine from his Arizona wine vineyard for this event. Greg is a former Knox County R1 school graduate, son of Betty Jo and the late John Gonerman of rural Herdland. Motion was made by Rick Winter and seconded by Doc Crixizer to approve the picnic license for the wine tasting event on Saturday, March 3rd. Motion carried unanimously. Lori also addressed the board regarding the plans the health department has to resurface their parking lot and their concerns with the drainage in that area. She said they have not decided whether to use concrete or asphalt, but want to address the drainage before putting down a new surface. Joe Dimmitt said he shot the elevation grade for the drainage culvert and there appears to be enough fall. He said the city will use their jetting machine when the weather is warmer, remove any silt, and inspect the condition of the culvert to be sure it drains properly before the health department bids their project. Motion was made by Renee Edwards and seconded by Delmer Strange to pay all bills as presented. Motion carried unanimously. Department reports. Joe Dimmitt, Superintendent of Utilities, met with the board. He reviewed Mike Wright's written monthly report for the wastewater treatment facility. The average flow for January was 80,000 gallons per day, which calculates out to 36% of the design flow and a total of 2,484,000 gallons treated. The water loss for January was much higher, but Joe attributed part of that to some frozen service lines and meter bottoms. Joe also reported that 4 new tires have been ordered for the Jeep. He said he has attended classes 2 days a week during the month of January to obtain a DS3 water license. The test was February 2nd, and he should have the results within 30 days. Joe also noted that his crew has been cleaning and painting at the city barn. He said the trash truck will be taken to Napine and Quincy for a minor repair regarding the check engine light, and that the city has taken delivery of its new Massey Ferguson tractor. Dimmitt presented the following quotes for a skid loader trailer. Mid-States Manufacturing and Engineering, Milton, Iowa, $4,335, lead time 3 weeks. Carter's Trailer Sales, Kirksville, Missouri, $4,360 available now. Motion was made by Renee Edwards and seconded by Ryan Mason to accept the bid submitted by Carter Trailer Sales. Motion carried unanimously. Joe also requested a laptop rather than a desktop for his department. He presented a quote from New Century Computers in the amount of $1,275. This included an upgrade of 4 GB of RAM and 3-year warranty with accident protection. Motion was made by Rick, requested an extension to his agricultural lease agreement for Hang the City Lake property. There was a consensus of the board that the lease expired after the 2017 haying season. Therefore, bids will be accepted at the March meeting for the same haying project. Rick Winter presented some information regarding a new basketball backboard and rim for Miller Park. There was some discussion regarding improvements needed at Miller Park. The board agreed that more information will be needed before making a decision. The fire department has requested new updated lighting for the fire station. Motion was made by Delmer Strange and seconded by Ryan Mason to pay for new lights inside and 1 new light outside at the fire station. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by Ryan Mason, seconded by Delmer Strange to adjourn. Motion carried and the meeting was adjourned.
DS2, Joe. instead of 3?
It ended up having to be a 2 because of the time. I just didn't have enough time to get to 3.
Okay.
Do you need to change that?
Probably. Due to time and lapse, PS2 is a thing.
And that was because of time?
It was because of work experience time.
Other than that, any other questions? Can you read one more time the lights?
The lights?
Yeah, the light space now.
The fire department has requested new updated lighting for the fire station. Motion was made by Delmer Strange and seconded by Ryan Mason to pay for new lights inside and 1 new light outside at the fire station. Motion carried unanimously.
Okay.
Did you get them ordered?
No, but I will. Next Thursday. All right. Collector's report.
Collections for February 2018. Water, $22,017.20. Sewer, $23,680.34. Sanitation, $14,329.08. General fund, $9,321.04. Recreation, $294.80. Street, $382.11. Special lights, $364.37. Meter deposit, $20. Reserve and improvement fund, 0, for a total collected of $70,408.94. As of 2/28, 94% of the real estate's been collected, 90% of the personal property has been collected, and I mailed out some reminders, and I've already been getting some response to those.
Good. Any other questions? Moving on. Treasurer's not here at the present. We'll move on. Monthly bills. Everybody kind of have a chance to look at the bills.
I didn't know it was something.
Anything stand out to anybody? Anybody else question? The chair entertains a motion to pay said bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Ron Mason.
Second.
Delmer Strange. All in favor? Everybody. Bills will be paid. Moving on to citizens' comments.
The Chamber of Commerce had a really great turnout for the trivia tournament on Saturday night. Some of you were there. Thank you very much for supporting the event. It was a good time. I am sure there are things coming up that I should say to you what they are, but they have evacuated from my brain.
All right. Any other citizens' comments? Mark Funny's not here at the moment. Hopefully that'll show us shortly. Phillips Boyer's not here at the moment. We'll move on to department reports. Mr. Demmett.
We've all got Mike's report that he prints out for us. A little bit of a rough month down there with water leaks, and we had a power outage down there late one night. Ended up having Eric come down and help us save the day.
Nope.
Burn up a power line coming in. It was too big for us to cut off and redo, so we got it going again, but in the process, while it was down under high flow, it kind of messed the plant up. Nothing never got out of compliance. It just made it unhappy. So that would be why some of these numbers are higher than usual. And obviously the rain flow and stuff has hurt us with the percentages of Yeah, it was getting bad fast, so. But other than that, I mean, it's back, it's recovering quickly and getting back into shape. He had to make a couple changes in the way he treats things, and he got it back, so. The UV parts are in, and just waiting, like it says on the bottom, waiting for it to be scheduled to come in and install them. You know, he's been in contact with us, Ray Lindsay, so hopefully by the end of the month, that will be up and going. We've got a water leak I was talking about earlier. We've got one right now, and it will be the third one in 45 days down there. So we're blaming it some on the new screen where the water kicks on and off, and the old water line going in there is thin. It's not very good pipe, so we need to maybe contact Bros and see if there's some kind of an inline hammer preventer we can put in it, and if not, and we keep having this trouble, we're gonna have to map us out a clean path to the main and put some new line in, because we're losing a lot of water when it blows out, so.
Yeah, probably stick the one and just keep pumping.
Yeah, when the pressure goes down, it just, like I said, the pumps come on and they don't know, they just know water's being used. So we've flooded the baseball fields down there twice. So, okay, so other than that with the sewer plant, that's kinda all we got going right now down there. We got our new trailer that we talked about last week. We've been using it some, works great. We got the light put up over here at Main. When the pole went down, they got the light put up, and the wiring was all strung again until it had to be pulled down for the building. But as soon as all that's done, it'll go back up. Actually, we had a water leak that we found that might contribute to some of our loss that we've had in the old hotel earlier this month. And I've been in contact with the owner of the property. He's going to get the basement pumped out so we can get into the basement. Because all the records we have show that there is no meter even in the pit for that building, and there's not. I mean, I've looked in the pit, the meter's not in there. So we've got a second old service or something that has not been abandoned that has to be causing the problem, because it had a 3/4 inch line in there that had cracked and was just running. So we'll get that addressed. We found another water leak down on Perigo's ground earlier this month also, so that's been fixed. So hopefully some of that will slow up our loss. And
Down by the sewer plant or?
at his, down by his yard, in his lot. Yep, so. And we had the day of some cleanup up here with building stuff. Tried to fence it off, and then they since then took the fencing down and leveled it out. And we replaced the road tube on Morgan Street. The one that had been running over and eating up the road.
North of me.
Yes, it's new. We finally found it, got dug down to it, and it was so low that by the time we got elevations to drainage, we'd had to cut a ditch all near all the way to Highway 6.
Oh my Lord.
So we dug it all up and moved it on top of the utilities that are in there. It wasn't exactly where we wanted it, but it will work, and it's doing its job. So it's doing its job a lot better than it was before. We're at least not gonna lose the road now.
It has had water across it a few times.
Yeah.
But this, I think, was the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, it was plugged. I mean, it was the outgoing side of the tube was 1.5 foot under the dirt.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, there was no way for it to work.
Where was this at?
North of me.
Yeah, just straight north of her. There
Those
was
one
Morgan Street.
apartments on the north of my house. Where Ted Hoder used to live. That tube right there.
Clinton's house on fire.
Mm-hmm.
No,
They patched or did something, but
it's got a new one in it. We actually moved it up in the box and filled the box and got some concrete and put a false bottom in the box, made a new trough in it, so.
Now, when you say the box, you talking about where you put that grid over the top?
Mhm.
Okay,
We had to move the pipe up in it. The
okay.
gas line was right where we needed it not to be. I mean, perfectly where we needed it not to be. So we had to regroup right quick and get that done. We've had several driveways, just loader buckets of rock and, and then going around and trying to fill some potholes for the time being with some rock, just to help out. And I've been in contact with Merkel. I know our cleanup's coming up soon. I called them again today, and no numbers yet. I was gonna try and find out what our prices are gonna be for our dumpsters and stuff. Mandy is supposed to call me in the morning, cause her boss didn't tell her how much it was going to go up. So she said she would call me in the morning. So that's gonna be too late for this meeting, and I've called Laughlin's 3 times now to find out when they're gonna be up here making cold patch and how much per ton it's gonna be, so we can get a game plan on it. And no reply, so I'll stay on them. I'll keep calling them. And I guess one of the last things I got is I did get my license. It finally came in the mail. So that's
great.
that's handled. So I'll leave that up here to hang on the wall. Other than that, that's all I really have for you right now. Unless you all have some questions for me, I'll go sit back and listen to the rest of the meeting.
Let's see if we have any questions later.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's another thing, is the later questions from last time. They put up some children playing sign.
Yes,
Put up a children's playing sign down there. And we started working on the brush down there along the road. And well, that was one of the days that we ended up having to fix a water leak later that day. And the ditch is still so wet that I was making more of a mess with the skid loader than I was doing good trying to clear brush. So we'll get back on it. We're not gonna leave it half done.
Now, my question is, where do you put the sign? I had mentioned to Margaret, you put it way down by that little building. Have you moved it, or is that where you left it?
It's between the two driveways.
But that's not where the problem is, Joe.
Okay.
The problem is up by Daryl Clucky's house and the house that's right north of it. That's where the children seem to be playing.
Okay, so you
Probably
want another
from-
one put up there?
Probably from Donnie Harrison's in that general vicinity somewhere, probably. I mean, does anybody else agree with that? Because, you know, when you go down the hill to Ball Diamond and that back road that goes to the sewer plant, or that little, what is that little shed called?
The brick building, that's our pump house.
The water.
That's the water pump house.
They put it there,
Uh-huh.
at that. And I think, because the letter I had read in the paper, it was from a lady that lived up the hill. And we used to have one there when Daryl Clucky's wife had a daycare center there. And I didn't realize it was not there anymore.
Okay.
But it needs to
One
probably
that you
be.
put up?
I used to live right there, right where she lives,
Yeah,
the
Echo.
lady who was complaining. And I think it would be pertinent to have one just about in her yard between the house and the storage sheds on the road right there when they get up to the top of the hill right there before they crest it, when they crest the hill, coming from going south from the north so they can see it. Because that's where the speed is. People come flying off of that county road past the ball field and up the hill or back out that way.
There is a sign down there by the old water plant
Yes.
already. Right
I
there, that
put one
drive.
by the houses. You know,
See, I
that's
think one
where
needs
the
to be up by
clump
the
of
house.
kids are. From that yellow house and then on up for the next like 3 or 4 houses. It's just like an epicenter of kids in there.
I wouldn't be sure. I wouldn't put it right in Daryl Plucky's. Let's see, what is it? Be the south corner there, maybe.
Yeah,
Right as
I'm
you
just
turn to go
saying
north.
the
Why
ones
don't
that
you
are
put it in the
coming past
intersection?
the ball field and up the
Huh?
Put
hill.
it in that intersection right there.
That's what I'm
Daryl.
saying, right there at Daryl's, right as you begin Daryl's yard.
Cause you have to give them time coming up the hill to stop. Cause they won't be able to see it once they come up.
No, this would be when they're going that way. There's one from the bottom coming up already.
Northbound traffic.
The people that are going north.
Okay.
If you wanna move it or put another one, I don't,
I got another one. I'll probably just
Cut it
because we
around.
had one there, and I don't.
see if I can find a post that's already there that they can use.
Okay.
That way I don't run the chance of
Yeah,
trying to
there's
drive
some
into those.
Okay, thanks.
Will do. Anything else?
No other questions, we will crack it.
Okay.
Mr. Ingram, we'll just let him get through real quick, that's all right. Mark Twain Telecommunications, Jim and John. Come on up. How are you all?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Good.
My name is Jim Lai. I'm with Mark Twain. And this is John Harris, who's my information technology manager. And we would like to put a building up so we can have more fiber in town, and we also like to put a tower up. And we're looking at the land right across from the water tower where that old house is.
Alvin Clucky's property. Campbell, sorry.
And so if you got, John can explain sort of.
I don't know if anybody's looked at the water tower lately.
It's full.
It's
Pretty
full.
full.
We need more space. Technology's evolving. 5G is gonna require even bigger antennas. We would like to get higher so we can cover more people in the county. But that's kind of the plan. We really don't plan on moving the stuff off the water tower in the immediate future. Probably the next 3-4 years, that stuff will stay up there. It's brand new. So, but as technology's evolving, it is gonna require us to get higher and put more antennas up.
And the larger antennas. And we actually have antennas that's gonna be, we got some more equipment's going up this
Yeah.
week.
Edina's getting a LTE advanced upgrade, so it's a big deal. So it'll make speeds a lot faster and there'll be a lot more capacity.
So this will help the community more than hinder it in any which way. This will help the
This will-
community of Knox County and Edina.
Absolutely. And not only in town, but rural as well.
As far as a tower, you say you would eventually put a new tower
We would like
on
to,
that location?
that's what we'd like to tear the buildings that are on it down, level it out. We have to check the soils, make sure that they'll support a tower. But, you know, if everything goes good, then yes, we'd like to put up a tower under 200 feet. So we'd like to keep it to where it doesn't have to be lit. We'll put a building next to it and that'll be it. We'll fence it so that nobody can get in there.
That's my concerns.
Yep, we've heard that before, so we can put cameras up on there that have sensors on it. If there's any motion inside that fence at all, it'll alert us automatically. So,
And then we call the police department, the sheriff's office or whoever and say, hey, someone's inside the building, inside the fence. So, do that. This is a big step.
Very big step for them.
Will you be purchasing the property or leasing it, you think?
Purchasing.
Purchasing,
Yeah, over by that
So they'll be
Russian house.
across the street from the busing to the west.
So we're gonna lose the dilapidated building,
Oh, right,
any,
right.
any
That breaks
tax
my heart.
revenue on it,
Mhm.
and we will be receiving tax revenue.
Mhm.
As well as, more than likely, our extended agreement with our locations that we have already for free.
We're not planning on changing anything that's on there.
like I said, the water tower, we'd like to leave it as is for the foreseeable future, but we want to be able to add the new 5G stuff when it comes out.
But I just didn't know what is required to do that.
We'll have to see a proposal, like, you guys have done, maybe a drawn proposal, just a small one. And then we could probably vote on it tonight. I mean, if you have an idea or can draw one out.
Is there
Why-
any kind of
what's
lighting
this?
around that at all? Because that is a dark block already.
There'll be lighting around the building,
That would
on
help.
the ground, but
I-
up high,
I walk by there a lot and that block is just dark for some reason. So I would
we
be
could request
be
a
happy
full
with a
light or
little-
something.
a little
that's no
light.
problem.
around it and that way you could see if someone's.
Should be a street light across the street from it though.
But it's dark. I
I
walk
guess-
that.
But if they
block.
clean it up
a
and
lot.
take trees and stuff, maybe
I
that
don't
would
know
help.
why it is so dark.
Legality is on there.
I live near.
Really wouldn't make any difference
Walk
in
by
the
there.
water tower. Be less so, probably.
Well, I know, I'm just saying. Should we run it through our attorney first as far as?
We'll make sure our ordinances will allow us, yes.
Yeah,
But I'd really see no reason why it'd be any different than the
There-
water tower. or
I
the
think
church
it's
steeple
revenue
or-
for the community and bettering us. I don't
I would
think it would be a problem.
Anytime you put up a structure like that, there has to be a public notice and
Right.
all that stuff, so, and that,
Right.
we'll go through all of that.
Right.
That's a block where there won't be anybody living in that block. Anyway, Those
The
are all.
house on the side.
There's
The
still people.
Aaronsons use their Wi-Fi, but they don't live there anymore.
Right.
So I find it as a win-win situation.
I think there's 3 lots there. and
Right,
We'd like to
there's
get
a
all 3, and
blank
there's
lot.
2 more to the north. So,
When is all this gonna start happening?
Where they go.
When you gonna start doing all this?
As soon as we can get all the approval.
Of course, Florence McPherson's is,
So-
This is our first step.
Right,
Yeah.
Then we gotta go to the FCC and the FAA
right.
and do all that work there. And we gotta have, like I said, soil samples taken. I wanna make sure there's no fault line or something that the building would stay there. So we gotta make sure it meets all the other criteria that we're required to do. We did the same thing in Kirksville. So,
it's pretty likely we'll be fine, since the water tower is right across the street. I mean, if there was an underground stream or something, they would have found it when they put that up.
Yes.
Mhm.
Consensus of the board, we'll check with our lawyer, make sure that we can go with it. The city consensus of the board is if the lawyer says it's good, we go on or not. Gonna
I'm in
allow them to
favor.
go on.
To benefit the community.
I see it as, could help that block. Have something there.
Well, as long as you guys are, doing your due diligence and getting, you're gonna make sure it's
yeah, we have to, we're required, anytime we
Yeah,
put
people need
license
to,
Yeah.
sure.
spectrum, using the license
so
spectrum.
where's the one in Kirksville, I guess
It's, out on P Highway.
Okay? I don't know.
It's-
You know where the bypass is at?
Yeah,
Route P, it used to be Phelps Farm Service, north part of town, northeast part of town.
There's
Okay,
theirs.
yeah.
There's a tower right behind it, it's 300 footer, that's ours.
But this would be a 200.
This will be under 200 and it'll be a self-support. That one is a guide tower, so it actually has guy wires coming off of it. But this
So it
one,
wouldn't be guide wires.
there's no guy wires here.
Okay.
No, that was a nightmare to have put up and we're not gonna go through that again, so.
Mhm.
It was also by the end, we got the tractor stuck 4 or 5 times, and everybody else that drove in there.
We had a 160,000 pound crane stuck.
So,
This will be better.
Well, I think, bring some kind of a plan or blueprints or something, and if it's okay with our attorney, sounds good to me.
Consensus of the board, we'll go ahead and we'll check it with our attorney. I'm betting there's probably not any ordinances that'll deter it. We will get back in touch with you, and consensus of the board, if there's nothing with the lawyer, it'll be approved with the census of the board probably.
And if there's some things that the city would like to have, just make note of
Sure,
them.
thanks.
We can say yes or no.
I'll send down to Kathy from Market to have it in.
We will, the fence will probably have to be a must. Lighting on your end will be a must probably for something, I mean, liability for you all, more than likely than anybody, so. But yeah, I don't see a problem with it. We will have to have it we'll have to go through every hoop. So.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you,
all
gentlemen.
right,
Thanks.
thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
And me walking by will be a good thing.
Let's do a story.
Thank you, guys.
You what?
Let's do a story.
Run.
I said let's do a story about it. Let's do a story.
Still.
Bill.
Yeah.
I said let's do a story.
Do you wanna come right
No, he said just lights around the bottom. Well, you think it's just the overgrown trees that are about to? I think so, because I think there's one across the street.
Hi, Philip.
But there's one
How
right
y'all
across the
doing?
street that goes to
Good.
Destin.
So, a year ago, Eric contacted me to do a little bit of a research project out at the forest, out the lake, just to see if something were to, just to see if something would maybe fit and to see if we could try something.
I've been it 4 times.
Okay. So anyway, I'll go through it with you guys if you want.
That would be wonderful.
Alright, and so now none of this is to scale because I didn't have one and my art skills aren't the best. So, anyway, this is to put a recreation complex out at the lake property. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in Parks, Recreation, and Tourism down at Mizzou. I've also been a certified Parks and Recreation professional. So I've done these kind of things before, I've just never really presented one to a group of people before. Basically what this does is it brings a recreation activities that we could use for the town and the county, really. We could bring people in. I'll just kind of highlight some of the things. I got an open recreation field that will be on this one that Renee's got right here, actually. That is going to be a FIFA league size soccer field, which I understand is a big field, but it will double as a football field. They're the same length. The soccer field is just a little wider. Projects like that, or a field like that, will allow us to do start a youth recreation in the county. We can do a soccer league, flag football. We can even do young adults if young adults wanted to do soccer and flag football. Going through this, I've got on there 2 pavilions that we could build, like outside structures for like that we could use for family gatherings or reunions, birthday parties, or softball and baseball team meals. I've also got on here that boat ramps and a floating dock that will be ADA accessible. They will be located behind the clubhouse as far as access. On the northwest side of the clubhouse, sorry, I'm on number 7. If anybody's
See, I don't have that one
Sorry.
you're looking at.
Alright,
So,
yeah, I'll read on paper. Sorry. So like, number 7 on the paper, oh, I'm sorry. Number 7 on the paper would be a miniature golf course. A miniature golf course, I understand it is an undertaking, but 3 to 5 years you can have your money back out of a golf course, and then after that it's all profit. There's very little upkeep, and at $5 a person, you'd be surprised how many people come to play. If you've ever been has anybody ever been in Quincy to play it over at Mormon Park? No, that is.
So this, sorry to back
Yeah,
up.
yes.
The storage shed, it says you inspected them and it's determined that they are not in
Yeah.
the remaining shed, so what's his number? How many do you wanna tear down and
So the actual cart sheds,
the cart shed?
You wanna tear them all down?
the 2 cart sheds.
Just the
Oh, the
first
2,
Yeah,
okay, so, and so that leaves us what?
it leaves you with like 2 other storage buildings.
Okay.
My concern when you were talking about golfing,
Mhm.
who's gonna be out there to maintain it to make sure they pay their money?
Well, go through it.
Okay, did we do this one before?
We gotta get on through here.
Okay,
The clubhouse, actually number 8. So the clubhouse would be the would house the office for administrations, concessions, equipment, and camping rental, and restrooms and showers. The top floor of the clubhouse will be divided into 3 different areas. The first area of the office for park administration. The second area will be devoted to concessions, which would allow patrons to dine at lake property, refreshments. And the third would be the welcome center for information for visitors. So it would probably be staffed by 1 person during ample time for that people would be out there. You could probably run a part-time person out there during the summer months. They could probably be under the city maintenance as far as that goes. Number 9, a shuffleboard court, an actual shuffleboard court. I measured out to where 50 feet by 20 feet would allow for 2 shuffleboard courts and space on each side so nobody gets in the way of each other. It would be something fun it'd be a leisure activity. It's very low strain or anything. Paddle boats and a floating dock. Again, that's something else that you could rent out. And with keeping the sheds out there, that is a place where you could store them during the winter time. A nature trail to go around the property would allow people to be out of the way of traffic, where they can go and walk around the lake of an evening. I've also got in here a basketball court. Number 15, a sand volleyball court. beach areas, and then 17 would be a camping area. It'd be located south of the ball fields. But the ball fields themselves are gonna be located on the north end of the property. They're rough measured, but, they're for 14 and under division. I measured 2 baseball fields out. They will butt up against each other. There's gonna be 50 feet between the 2 baseball fields to allow for access to get through there. And then to the south of the baseball fields is a softball field with 100-foot access. That way, overlapping, if somebody were to hit foul ball or home run, you wouldn't have to worry about it getting into the other field and potentially causing harm or damage. The parking lot will be, number 21. It'll be on the northeast corner of the property associated with the ball fields. And there'll also be a concession stand. And then on the number 24, so the area that the city owns all the way on the northwest corner that nobody really does much with, there are grants out there for monarch butterfly habitat. So if you would to convert that over to wildflowers and whatnot, there's organizations that will give you money to convert that over to make it a natural habitat. So you really do nothing for it, but still provide a service. And then another thing that the city could do to offset some costs would be to permit bow hunting, allowing just a certain number of people to purchase a permit to go in there and bow hunt. That way there's no way that somebody's got a gun in there and you know who's in there at the time. Like I said, this was just a proposal. Eric asked me to look into it, and I thought I'd present it to you guys just so you could see what you think of it, read through it.
And we're not dreaming that this can all be done at once. There is a way that we're gonna have to sit down and figure out how and what we can do at first.
I gave some of the stuff to Margaret here a while back, a copy of the camping regulation that the county has. I don't know if she's given them to you guys. But I think there's something that we need to, we need to look at doing. Because I mean, it's a good place, I mean, for people to go camping, as close as town, and, I think we need to, start with the camping first, and get something done there.
It probably wouldn't take much to start a walking trail either.
No, the
just
trail.
mow strips out along the edge of the water.
But I mean, we've got that property, and it's really not being utilized
To its full potential. I know Rick Gilcombe sitting in the gallery, and Rick, you do several days worth of camping, do you not?
Oh, probably good, yeah.
With this proposal, do you know of any place within 50 miles that has something like this?
I mean, Hurdlin's starting to get fixed up pretty nice, but it just takes time for that. To have like a ball field and all that, with having kids and everything, it'd be nice. Cause the one that we got now, you just, 50% of the time you can't use it because it's underwater.
And we discussed this 2 years ago. This is when I started thinking about more of this stuff and talked about it. And I mean, it's gonna cost some money. We're gonna have to find the money. But ultimately, I think if we do this, at some point this is gonna pay off between speeding up our internet. We have a Grow Knox County group starting. They're trying to get more people back to the rural area. They just gotta have something to do when they get here. They're used to living in a city where they can do anything at their fingertips. I mean, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Most of us here have children and grandchildren that are here, thank God. But I keep looking at the aspect of, 10, 15 years down the road, my kids are probably gonna be in town somewhere, a city away from here. And if that's what they choose, that's what they choose. But what is my grandchildren gonna have to do when they come back and see me Or am I gonna have to go see them? Cause they're not gonna wanna come here.
Not many sticking around anymore.
No, I mean, we are exporting our youth in droves. Cause we need to invest in some things like this and maybe get the younger group to stay, some more of the younger group to stay.
No, I think we need to, I don't wanna interject my opinion too much, but I think we need to start, permitting some camping and maybe build some pavilions and, get some interest in the property, get, people out there, people interested in, maybe we could get donations from different people to, improve and, do different things out there.
I think before we get too far on the actual building, we need to get a structured idea and plan for the next 5 to 10 years of what we wanna see out there. As a community, 3 to 5 year plan anyway.
Well, see if you can find some grants. You might be able to find some grants out there if you get anything that.
We need to probably approach other organizations like the community center and the health department to help us find these grants. And the Missouri Municipality League.
Philip, what would your priority be first on the list, you think?
First on my list, well, like Eric said, I'd probably set up a goal on where you want to be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. But it depends on what you're really looking for. If you're wanting to bring the people in and have something for them to do as far as the recreation side of the kids, the ballparks are where I'd start. But like Ryan said, if you want to do the camping and the pavilions, that's also a way to go. You're not going to bring in near the people and near the money. I mean, you're going to be spending upfront costs to build the pavilions, which you will with ballpark too. But
Yeah, what it costs to start the camping.
that's true.
And I've been in touch with Mr. Spory and Kurt Dibble. And Kurt had talked to the transmission line, and there will be an abundance of holes for lighting and probably whatever else we need if we just ask before any of them maybe start stockpiling.
And if that's the case, then yeah, you can do all your lighting, all your poles. You can build the pavilions. You can build the barricades and to direct traffic and whatnot, keep people out. That's all. That'd be free. That'd be cheap. All you'd have in it's labor.
What if you guys sold off the north end of it, some of the property off for some lots or something to get some revenue?
That's where the ball fields are proposed to go. That's about the only place big enough to house them.
Oh, is the location?
Yeah.
You want that? Sorry.
I mean,
Even like doing the camping, doing like the volleyball court like you wanna do in town, do this, put something out there, at least some people go out there now and do something now. I mean, won't take much money for a volleyball court or something outside now.
Or a couple signs that have your camping regulations. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a big elaborate deal.
I think if we were to probably put in a walking trail out there along the water's edge at first, it's cheap, we could maintain it, mowing it pretty easy. It would draw more interest and we would be able to see within a year whether people have any interest or if people even go out there to walk. That might be our cheapest
But
bet
there's no
to
money
see.
revenue there for walking.
You're providing service at the moment. That'll give you an idea whether people are
Right.
even interested in going out there. If the interest isn't there, there's no need to build it. If the interest is there, then you will build it.
I'm understanding you're only talking to 14 years of age and under for the ball fields.
Yes.
You don't think we need to, well, probably not anymore now that the high schools build another softball field probably, but there are older people that play ball too, like high school age. You don't think the fields have to be that much bigger, do they? For the age group? How
They
much?
travel so far to play, they go into
But we-
Georgia and
It'd be a lot of
Tennessee.
money brought in here if they had a good place for it.
We don't have the room, is the problem.
What is the size of a 14U field, Dylan?
Distance.
It's in the paper. Sorry. 1 second. The two baseball fields were 300 feet from home plate to foul pole, and the softball field was 250 feet from home plate to foul ball.
That's big enough for adult league ball.
I mean, our field down there is 280 now. We can't even post 14 of them.
Mhm. But I'm just saying, these kids travel so far and they pay big bucks. Them big bucks could be out here.
Exactly. And that's why
So we need to make it
14
big
and
enough.
under, I believe it's 14 and under. Joe, Kirksville, is there a waiting list for the ball fields?
Kirksville doesn't utilize what they could with their ball fields. They won't, from what I've seen, they don't cooperate enough with the adult league stuff, but the youth tournaments are huge. I mean, they fill up the place. They fill up all the surrounding hotels and stuff. I mean, they'll have 2-day weekend long tournaments that run all day long, and you know, and have into the night. A lot of games. It's a big thing. The traveling team ball is what it's all going to anymore, and it's a moneymaker. If you can get the ball fields moved in and have a good enough facility, they will make money, I believe, especially if you host the tournaments.
So who would run this? Would the city go into business out there and be getting revenue, or would you lease that to someone? So, like, would you rent out the, like, properties? So, like, if Philip wanted to develop it, like, how, who would be on the receiving end of the...
It's a very good question. If there was a developer that would show up and want to do something along these lines, I think we would be fools not to let them do it. At their dime, we're gonna get the foot traffic. That's ultimately what we're wanting. We're wanting something to bring people to Edina and Yates County.
Like, I've been covering this council for a long time, and it's been, like, 8 years now. The idea of selling off a piece of the property has been harshly avoided by this council because it's been said, the money doesn't last, but the whole lake property as one piece of property, like, if you get rid of that, you're not going to be able to get it back as far as having, and it's a park for the people of Edina.
I can address that. My thoughts on that, I don't know about the rest of the board, I'm speaking for myself. If you sell off any bit of that, you're gonna ruin the other bit of it. 1. 2, you sell it off, somebody builds a house, what does the city benefit? Not one damn thing.
That's been the tradition of the Edina City Council, and it's been people in and out, but it's always stayed the same. I'm just interested to know, what is your thought as far as, like, Renee, I know you're interested in making revenue, but are you interested in the city making revenue? Are you interested in a developer making revenue? Or are you more interested in that property actually being used for something?
Well, I think it needs to be used for something, but I'm not in favor of selling it. To me, and I've always, even when the past mayor was here that I've sit through, it was one of those things that we've always discussed, that it's the only last piece of property decent for anybody to have industry in this community. And we wanted to hang on to it for that reason. I'm not in favor of selling it, period, in any way, shape, or form. No.
Okay. So who wants to be on the committee to start the plan?
What was that, Rick?
Have a smaller committee that move forward and make a plan and more
More detailed into it.
detailed timeline plan and get things going that way.
You could even get community members who aren't on the council to be part of the committee. You don't have to all do
Because
it.
one time Jeff Doss came to us, wasn't that right, Echo? And some,
And he had
a few
ideas
people had
for
a few,
it.
right.
And, I mean, there's people in the town. I know you guys are busy. If you don't, all of you don't have time to sit on the committee too, you might pull in some.
I think if everybody reads this proposal a time or two more, we will see the direction that we probably should be going. I mean,
yeah, I think it's something we need to study. And
Philip has done his homework on it. Every time I read it, I found something different that
I think there needs to be some type of formulation of a committee so it don't, just die here tonight. And we need to form something that, actually is gonna push through and get the ball rolling on stuff.
I would suggest that we wait until after the election so that elected members sitting on the council aren't ousted.
And it might be such a thing that it needs to be some people that have younger children that are growing into the community to be on the council too, on it.
I think we need
Both ages, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying, we need some young with
older
experience too, both.
Wise. Wisdom.
Wisdom, yes, wisdom is the word.
I agree, so let's figure on, and go ahead and delegate part of the meeting for April, let's go ahead and figure on doing it in April.
Do we see the?
After we see who's sitting on the council board, and maybe there's incoming or outgoing, who knows? Maybe there's other ideas.
So, you think we need to table it then till April?
Let's table it to the April meeting, and Lord help us if it doesn't get off the table.
But I wanna read through it, I don't wanna make any decisions without studying what I've received.
Like I said, I've read it 4 times, and I kinda,
I know I failed. Mark Cross that one night told me to call Hannibal's Parks and Rec guy, that they've gotten grants for trails in Hannibal. And I
Well,
know they'd call him, so.
we have a grant writer that got Clark County's trail for them, Cahoki's trail.
Somebody in this community?
Lori Moose Claire wrote that. It's asphalted if I'm not mistaken.
She writes a ton of grants.
She wrote that grant while she was in Clark County working, I believe at the health department, if I'm not mistaken there. Where we're looking, like Philip here. We gotta use what we got at home first.
You know how to
before
write grants?
grasping at straws, so. let's
Yeah,
just
trail would be
put the
good
feel
for
out.
5K runs and stuff.
That's all.
Yeah.
Go to, they gave some money to camping, so they put a trail in some sort there on the college.
As far as solid waste for the camping and stuff goes, we have a pump truck and a state-of-the-art facility over the hill here. Then we could put in a holding tank and go from there. Long and short of it is let's all do our homework on this, come back in April and we'll discuss it more.
You're talking about, I do have that listed in there about a holding tank, yeah.
I think maybe if Echo does a story, maybe generate some interest, and maybe we can get some citizens here for the April.
That would be nice.
If you build it, they will come.
Let's hope. It's not quite a cornfield, but it'll work.
And they're having that Grow Knox County meeting on Wednesday.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting, you know, if you guys go, you might like be able to see if any, you know, talk about that too at the meeting, and there might be other people who are interested.
We're going.
Plus we're live and there's people watching, so already the word is spreading.
250 feet on your softball field?
Yeah.
That seems big.
It just said it couldn't be, had to be a minimum of 225, I thought, and it couldn't be over 260, 280. I'll look it up,
I
but
know School's one is only like,
yeah,
it's 180.
I'll look it up.
Which it
Yeah.
meets the state requirements.
Okay, I'll Google it.
And that's high school, over 14, right?
Right.
We might be able to move
So
a few things. We
yeah.
might be able to move a few things around, maybe get some bigger ones.
That might have been professional.
As far as this goes, we've not GPS'd anything.
No, it's all been rough, done. That's why them white flags were out there over the winter. That was me.
Gotta start somewhere.
We have to start somewhere, and we don't have much money, so let's start with what we have. So I thank you for the proposal.
No problem, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Give me some of those somewhere.
Yes, chief. Sorry.
I took up enough of your guys' time talking out of turn.
No, that's fine. What we're doing, certain ways.
I don't know if there's any questions on that. I'm excited to move this down.
When it's done. We're making diamonds. We're making diamonds. We're making diamonds.
I mean, I don't have a lot on the rest of the stuff unless you guys have any questions. You have any questions about the building stuff?
Why was she on that already?
The way she was, the one was for a failure to appear.
Or that was for that.
And the judge set a bond at 2,500. She was able to post it. That's just how it works.
So you think if we need her again, we'll be able to find her ever again?
Yep.
So when does she have a, does she have a date, court date?
Tomorrow.
The county took care of that. I'm not sure of it.
Yeah, 'cause it's tomorrow.
She's in court tomorrow afternoon.
Well, I'll be there.
She's on the docket for 1.
Shannon County. Shannon County, almost Arkansas. Had a relative's house.
Ryan, did you have to call to make Crimson together?
Robert did, because it's a county warrant.
They could have had her long before now.
He had been ding donging them quite a bit.
It made the news, it made priority.
Oh, yeah.
I know on my last one, where I put on there that I was gonna send letters out. I didn't send letters out. Few reasons. One of them was, you know, that was prior to that building. You know, I just had some concerns about getting on a lot of people when we had this mess, you know, uptown and wasn't getting a lot resolved on it. Plus, I wanted to, coordinate my letters with the spring cleanup. I wanted to put them out with a 30-day notice within the time frame of the spring cleanup.
Okay.
So I thought that was only fair to people, give them an opportunity to take some of their stuff down there. So, that's why they didn't go out. I mean, I go ahead and send them out if you guys want, but I think it would be beneficial if we wait and make the deadline within the frame of the spring cleanup.
Can you make the deadline within the frame and then go ahead and send it?
Well, where it's on the thing, we're gonna talk
That
about.
might work.
As long as we know a date.
That way we can,
Right down here.
Yeah.
B.
coordinate with Joe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can send them and we can have a,
Well, if you send a letter.
yeah, we're gonna send a letter, but I need to have it.
30 days,
Well, is our spring
And then
cleanup
what-
gonna be within
then
30
what
days?
happens? What happens then? If they-
They'll be summoned to appear in court on ordinance violation.
So, he said,
Usually after last weekend or the last week of April.
Middle to the latter.
25th.
Before
25th
the
and
latter part.
26th was last year.
25th
Do
and
what?
6th was
April
last year.
25th and 6th was last year.
But I mean, as long as I know the time frame of the spring cleanup,
Mhm.
then we can address that in the letter and put a little note in there that the spring cleanup is this date, you know, take advantage of it, you know. That was my idea. So, if that works for you guys, I think that's the best way to do it.
Oh, yeah, I think in conjunction with it, yeah.
That way they can't say we haven't had any opportunity or a place to go. Sounds wonderful.
Anything else?
Boy, I didn't know we had so much crime.
Oh, yes. We're not Mayberry.
suspicious.
It was probably door to door,
Yeah, we had a couple of them,
door to door.
Yeah. door stuff.
Any other questions for Chief Bishop? Any questions? We'll move on.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ryan.
Unfinished business, I've not heard any more from Country Club Building, other than maybe Mr. Corey's proposal. Lease agreement with USB, I've not heard anything.
What's the holdup on that?
I don't know. Applications are still needed for the community development block grant demo project.
Well, one of them that I was thinking looks a lot better, they've worked on it, that house right over there. I thought was up for demo, but it doesn't need it now.
Doesn't need it now.
So is someone living there?
I do not know.
Hmm.
So, let's,
Well, somebody's moved in.
we'll try to get together here in IACO and we'll go ahead and run a story on this weekend. In the near future,
On what?
this block grant. It won't be
Yes.
for 18, it'll be for 19 now.
Yes.
Cost share agreement with the Knox County Commission for enhanced 911 dispatch services. Ryan got me all the stuff that he could, which didn't break everybody's up. I've asked the presiding commissioner if he could request, let me see the rest of it. I have not heard back from him just yet. Hi, Evan. Alrighty.
Yeah, how long is this gonna keep going on, this cost share thing?
That is probably indefinite, one way or the other, so. Moving out of unfinished business into new business, bids for the Hague around the city lake and the wastewater treatment plant. We have 2 bids here, which I've opened so I can have my math done for everybody. We have one bid from Steve Applegate for $513, the total sum. Roughly translated would be into $13.60 an acre. I have one from Gary Mallett at $65 an acre. Chair would like to hear a motion on, or any discussion on this. Who would like to take it at $13.60 an acre? Who would like to take it at $65? Who would make a motion?
Well, it's a no-brainer.
You gotta hear the motion.
I make a motion to accept Gary Mallett's bid at $65 per acre.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
All in favor? Everybody. Gary Mallett will receive the bid on the hay ground for 1 more year. It's a year-to-year lease now, with the hopeful project going in out there in the future. Alrighty, we gotta set the date for the spring cleanup, which we discussed, Joe. They don't have any bids for him, so he doesn't really know.
They said that they were pretty sure the price was going to have to go up some, but she did not know how much at this point.
So we're waiting to hear back to maybe possibly shop around. We're still gonna try to set it in April.
We need to have a date in mind for him to question about it, though, see if it's available for them.
Yeah.
And it might be such a thing, when we have people bringing 3 and 4 truckloads, maybe shut them off at 2 or 3. You know, just, if it's gonna be that expensive.
Last year was 4 dumpsters.
4.
And I think it's $750 or something like that, I think is what it was. We looked at the paperwork the other day, I don't remember the exact numbers. I think it was $750 a dumpster.
A dumpster, okay.
And there was a small overweight charge.
Well, and then you do the recyclable, don't you?
We'll separate the metal.
Yeah, that one I just put in the dumpster, just used at that house, it cost me like $900.
Really?
Cause I was overweight, yeah, so much over a ton.
They did
Last year.
25,
26 last year. 25th and 26th last year of April.
Well, what days of the week?
Was that Tuesday?
It's like a
Wednesday?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
What days?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
I was gonna say, not a trash day, Rick, probably,
Yeah, Tuesday.
cause we leave somebody there all the time.
17th, 18th, and 24th or 25th.
24th and 25th is what we discussed the other day, Margaret and I was discussing it. I think that's what I told Mandy, that was kind of our projected date, not a for sure, but
I say we do the 17th and 18th.
He's projected it to the end.
I can change it now. I told him that was not a solid date. I just told him that would roughly go with what we done last year.
17th and 18th, would that work for you, Joe?
If it works for them, it works for me. It doesn't affect me.
Depending on availability of dumpsters. Depending on
17th
availability of
and 18th?
dumpsters. 17th and 18th.
17th and 18th?
Yeah.
Would you set it back?
Yeah. Set it up.
Or set it up? 17, 18?
So you can send out letters the end of March and still do it.
Not till he makes sure that's gonna be
Yeah,
confirmed.
if we
I'm
can
just saying
make-
the
I
dumpsters.
was just making sure
Uh-huh.
that Tuesday.
They'll coordinate amongst themselves.
I wanna know, like, the for sure date, so I can add that in my letter. The spring cleanup will be
We'll let you
these
coordinate,
dates.
we'll let you coordinate with Joe.
But we're only talking a month now almost, guys.
Yep, we're getting right up to
I'm
it.
not real sure you might not put it off. Is there a reason you specifically picked that week? 17, 18?
Get it going.
Yeah, by the time he gets the answer back, we're looking at a month now. to Get right into the letter.
I also
don't
put
know.
it on the last one I sent them out to people, I'll have it on there April.
Okay,
That's only gonna give them 4 or 5 days
right.
notice.
Then again, Echo.
Yeah.
We'll get it
What?
sorted out.
Scoop will do it.
Well, no, I just wanted to know the reason, yeah.
Hey, he's gonna have the letters out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Might
We'll
be
just,
better.
we'll shoot for the 17th, 18th.
Wait,
Let's see what.
We'll see what, we'll see if Joe can work some magic.
Okay.
Alright,
They'll find them if they wanna go.
oh boy. Resolution number 701 here, resolution with the intent to participate in the natural hazard mitigation and to work for the county, except for community. No, it's the same.
Different.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I remember that.
I believe I previously did.
So.
Go right ahead.
No, yeah, you can read it.
Who cares? Go on the lead, the resolution.
All of it.
What's the number?
701.
Okay, city resolution number 701. Resolution of intent to participate in natural hazard mitigation and to work toward becoming a safer community. Whereas the city of Edina recognizes that no community is immune from natural hazards, whether it be tornadoes, like severe thunderstorms, floods, severe weather, winter weather, drought, heat wave, earthquake, dam failure, or wildlife, and recognizes that importance enhancing its ability to withstand natural hazards, as well as the importance of reducing the human suffering, property damage, interruption of public services, and economic losses caused by those hazards. And whereas the city of Edina may have previously pursued measures such as building codes, fire codes, floodplain management regulations, zoning ordinances, and stormwater management regulations to minimize the impact of natural hazards. And whereas the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the State Emergency Management Agency have developed a natural hazard mitigation program that assists communities in their efforts to become disaster-resistant communities, which are sustainable communities after a natural disaster that focus not just on disaster relief, but also on recovery and reconstruction that brings community to at least pre-disaster conditions in an accelerated, orderly, and pre-planned manner. And whereas by participating in the natural hazards mitigation program, the city of Edina will be eligible to apply for post-disaster mitigation funds. And whereas the city of Edina desires to commit to working with government partners to implement the natural hazards mitigation plan. And whereas the city of Edina will implement pertinent precepts of the mitigation plan by incorporation into other community plans and mechanisms where appropriate. And whereas all aspects pertaining to the city of Edina in the Knox County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan attached hereto and incorporated by reference herein be approved. And whereas the city of Edina will participate in the evaluation and review of the plan after a disaster, as well as complete a mandated 5-year update submitted to the State Emergency Management Agency and the Federal Emergency Management Agency for review and approval. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Edina, Missouri, as follows. The City of Edina hereby approves Knox County multi-jurisdictional natural hazard mitigation plan attached hereto for the purpose of building a safer community by reducing natural hazard vulnerability. This resolution shall be in full force and effect upon adoption.
We got ready one more time.
Just the,
No, just by the title.
just the, by title only.
You think you only read it once, I think you just had to read this one.
Because we had that changed when.
Oh, yeah.
Scripture was
You just
here.
have to do the first.
City Resolution 701, a resolution of intent to participate in natural hazard mitigation and to be work towards becoming a safer community.
2015.
And motion to be a safer community.
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution 701.
Who seconds?
I will second that motion.
All in favor? Motion. City resolution 701 passes. Alrighty, that motion passes. Alderman Collins, do you have any comments?
I just wanted to say that I think York's construction elder has done a great job on the building. Really, it's really nice.
I want to, go ahead and thank Mr. Bishop,
Oh, yeah, Ryan, so yes.
Mr. Dimmitt,
Mhm.
for their quick response. It wasn't anything any of us had planned that day, but when it happened, it had to be dealt with, and they did it in a timely and quick fashion, so. I thank you both.
Everything looks real good.
Any other alderman comments? You're not alderman.
Can we go back to the citizens' comments because I remembered what I forgot? Can we do that?
How confusing is that for me? No.
As you know, the Edina Sentinel is, well, Edina's and Knox County's oldest, most continuous, longest running business. As far as on April 21st, we are going to have a 150th birthday party at the community center. The rescue squad is going to serve a benefit fish fry and raise money for the rescue squad, and we are going to put together, we'll have a few speakers and put together some sort of historical program and have cake or some sort of deliciousness, maybe have some historical display and work with the Historical Society. So I just wanted to bring that up to you. April 21st, it's a Saturday. They'll start serving food at 5 o'clock, and we will start the program at 5:45. And it would be great if we could have the whole council there, just to represent Edina as far as and her oldest business.
5 o'clock.
Food at 5:45.
Thank you.
Food at 5, program 5:45.
Yes, ma'am.
That sounds good.
Any other alderman comments? Chair, will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Delmer? All in favor? Everybody wants to go? Smoothly. Adjourn.